Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Marvel Champions for the channel, and today we are starting the Galaxy's Most Wanted expansion, the box of which, or the lid at least, you can see to the top right of your screen. It was the second scenario box released for the game after the Rise of the Red Skull. It focuses on the exploits of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think all the character releases around then were the Guardians, and specifically at the start of the campaign we're taking on Drang and his Badoon army, which are currently trying to invade Earth. I'm not familiar with Drang, to be honest. I think on stream we looked up his first comic book appearance. He looks very different in the art on these cards. He looks pretty silly, which probably means he's a very old character. But the general theming of this expansion is the Infinity Stones kind of are a background to the people we'll be facing here. I don't want to spoil too much until we get to it, but then this leads into the next scenario box they released for the game, which was Thanos and the Black Order themed. So the Infinity Stones are just kind of leading up to him. And we saw the Reality Stone in Rise of the Red Skull, so they put the pathing there right from the start, which is pretty fun. So we'll talk about specific campaign instructions for setup, because if you're not playing this as a one-shot deal against Drang, there are some different setup instructions you have to use, and I am going to be using Groot. So let's go cover all that. So here is Drang, one scheme, two attack. However, after he schemes, you resolve the ability on the Badoon ship here, which is part of the setup, from Terrestrial Invasion, which is the normal one you would have, whether you're playing this as a link scenario or not. You use his deck, you use Brotherhood of Badoon, Ship Command, and one standard encounter set, and they suggest you use Band of Badoon, which is what we're doing. You put the Badoon ship environment into play, and you also put the Milano into play, which we'll cover when we look at Groot real quick. If you're playing this as a scenario, you also have the Badoon Blitz put into play from the start. I think there's a harder version if you're playing Expert Campaign, but we're just doing Standard. So it starts with 2 threat on it, and it has Hinder 3, so it actually gets 3 more, and it goes in the victory pile when defeated. Doing extra things to put cards into the victory pile, as well as some other side objectives as we fight, earn us credits that in between scenarios we spend on like the Galactic Market to buy upgrades, mostly for the Milano, I think, but either way it's upgrades that go into our deck. Beyond that, the Badoon Headhunter also gets shuffled into the encounter deck, and he'll be reappearing as we play through the scenario, so he's the extra kind of threat that's hiding somewhere in here. And here is Groot just using his default deck. He's one of the two heroes that came in the box with Rocket. Didn't really like Rocket's default deck. I preferred how Groot played, so I'm going to try out him. And the Milano is the card that whoever you're playing as gets control of. We're playing true solo, so it won't ever shift, but it's the first player, if you had multiple, who get the Milano each turn. And you can exhaust the Milano and remove my dog hairs from it, there we go, to generate a wildcard resource. I don't think there's anything on the other side, no, but as I say, in between scenarios we can buy upgrades for it, and I think it influences some cards as well, like you could exhaust it for certain encounter cards to avoid nastier things happening. I forgot to mention for the Badoon ship, but if it ever gets 4 barrage tokens placed on it, which it will happen if Drang schemes, and certain encounter cards do it as well, you take indirect damage. So unavoidable damage 2 to be exact. So I think that about covers it. Groot starts on his peaceful side, however, and he has the growth counter mechanic, which he can spend them to negate damage. He has cards that make you do more damage, etc., based on the number of growth counters you can have, and he can have up to 10. And he'll be starting the game with 2 basically. So with that, we're ready to get started. Starting the Galaxy's Most Wanted campaign, see what Drang's all about, after this quick word from my channel sponsor. This video is sponsored by Noble Knight Games. Check out the video description below for an affiliate link that will take you through to their store, and it will help me out as well. Thanks. So first things first, we need to decide on our opening hand of 6 cards after a mulligan. So let's just quickly shuffle this to prove I've shuffled it on camera a little bit, although it has been shuffled off camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And we'll see what we're keeping and what we're getting rid of. Deft Focus, hard to ignore. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Groot's protection. Deft Focus, Root Stomp, and Indomitable. So Root Stomps need 2, and they're just a nice way to deal damage. Pretty good. And if it defeats an enemy, you place a counter on Groot. Honestly, we could open up by just doing 2 of those, by spending everything we have. I think I'm going to just keep this hand and open with a bunch of damage, because these are just for spend. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That is what we're going to do. That is our opening hand. So I forgot to mention, but Drang starts with 13 health per player in phase 1, and then he'll go to phase 2 once we do that. I will immediately place 2 growth counters on Groot, and then go to hero form. So I'll just use that die there. I'll ideally put it above it because I'm going to be flipping down at some point, I presume. So on hero side we can get rid of growth counters to negate some damage. And yeah, we're doing the turn I said. So let's start by getting rid of both deft focus and spending, or rather paying, for a root stomp. So deal 5 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats that enemy, place a growth counter. It's not going to do that, but 5 damage followed by 5 damage is 10 of his 13 health gone instantly, which is insanely good for an opening hand. We didn't even need to do... Oh, technically I could have used the Milano to generate one, but I didn't want any of those cards in my hand, I don't think. Let me just double check. Hard to ignore. Actually, we'll tap the Milano to pay for one of those just so I can keep Indomitable, because it's a good defensive card, potentially. So, sure. And then we can... Oh, this started with 2 threat on it. I ended up forgetting. I also forgot to flip this over to its main side, forgetting everything. It started with 2 threat on it as well. And we'll move on if it gets to 8. So, after we resolve step 1 of the villain phase, it puts more charge on here. And that's that. We will have Groot... His thwart is not great. Oh, actually that starts with 5 on it because of the hinder 3. There. If we want our side quests, we want to solve that. I'm not sure I want to knock him down to phase 2 instantly before I get some upgrades out. So I guess we'll have Groot thwart for 1 and do it on here. Because I don't want him to get to phase 2 until I have some upgrades out. So 1 card ending in hand, so we're drawing 4. Dauntless. Fruition, it's a good one. Strength, that's also good. Need some upgrades though. And that's not upgrades. But at least we have a defensive card in hand. So we'll ready up the Milano again. And villain turn. 1 threat on main scheme. Drang is attacking us. No, sorry, first, after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, do the Badoon ship's charge up ability. So this goes to charge 1. And then he's attacking us. He only puts a charge on here if he schemes. So he's hitting for 2. I am going to defend, and we're blocking for 3. He's hitting for 2. He's hitting for 4. Oh, that was my obligation card on the top. I will use a growth counter to negate all the damage, and then get rid of Fighting Fit to pay for Indomitable, which means after we finish defending, we can ready our hero. Partially so I can do something on my next turn, or partially because I can block again, based on potentially this encounter card making him attack us. Power Siphon, Peril. While you are resolving this card, other players cannot help you. When revealed, choose one. Exhaust the Milano, spend 2 energy. I'll just exhaust the Milano. It's fine. I'll do that. That isn't so bad, honestly. So with playing that defensive card, my next turn is going to be real quick. Playing Fruition for 3 just to give me 2 growth counters. To go to 3. I want to stay in hero form so that Drang doesn't scheme. I've got Strength and Dauntless in hand. I kind of want to keep these, so I'm just going to leave them in hand, and we're going to thwart for 1 and get that down like that. And that's my turn. Not great, really, but sure. And then we're drawing 3. Another Indomitable. Vine Spikes, finally we got one of his upgrades. Which one is that? Is that the thwart one? No, that is the attack one. I kind of hoped for the thwart one, and there's another Dauntless. Alright, so 1 threat on the main scheme. This ticks up to 2, and it needs to get to 4. Yes, 4. That's going to knock out a lot of Groot's versatility, because he gets some bonuses based on some of the cards for staying at or above his starting health of 10. So that's going to be annoying once it starts proccing. Anyway, we're being attacked. I'm going to defend again. Oh yeah, when I ended my turn, the Milano would have re-readied. He's hitting for 2. Resolve the Badoon ship's charge up ability. So he's still only hitting for 2, but this gets another charge on it. So it's up to 3. That's annoying. And I took no damage. Will I ready myself? Do I want to ready myself? Sure, I'll spend a Dauntless on another Indomitable just to re-ready myself before the encounter card comes out. And encounter card. It's a Badoon Engineer. Forced response. After Badoon Engineer engages you and activates against you, so he isn't activating against us this turn, resolve the charge up ability. Okay, that's annoying. 3 health. We can hopefully deal with that thanks to the upgrade we have sitting in hand. So I've been debating off camera there whether or not I want to use my strength card, because I would be overpaying which is, you never want to do that. Plus, we might be about to not be at full health, which is another problem. We're going to tap the Milano to generate a wildcard resource in order to equip Vine Spikes. I can exhaust a growth counter, or sorry, exhaust the card and spend a growth counter to get +2 attack, so we can hit for 4. That's pretty good. I also kind of wanted to play Dauntless to get myself Retaliate 1 while we're at or above max health. But I'm also worried that that's just not going to happen, because I could spend 2 growth counters to avoid the damage from the indirect damage, but then Drang will do damage to us when he attacks us. So that's the problem. I think I'm going to just we're not going to be full health, so I'm not going to waste my strength card. I'm going to hold on to strength card. I'm going to discard Dauntless so we can draw something else. As for my turn, I'm tapping that and spending 1 growth counter, so I'm hitting for 4 to kill the engineer, like that, and then ending my turn. That is that. I'm keeping strength card in hand, so I'm drawing 4. Desperate Defense, Root Stomp, that's another good damage card. I am Groot. Remove threat from a scheme equal to the number of growth counters. Potentially good eventually. And, oh, we found Rocket. It isn't super great unless he's hitting a minion. And there's no minions again now. But there might be about to be. So, main threat ticks up to 5. This gets to 4 counters. So what happens when it gets to 4 counters? We take 2 damage and then all the counters disappear. I'll spend the 2 growth counters on us to negate that damage. Drang is attacking us. Will we go for... Yeah, I'll spend Rocket to do Desperate Defense. When your hero defends against an attack, it gets +2 defense to the attack. If you take no damage, you get to Ready. Because that means I'm defense 5. Hopefully enough. He's hitting for 2. He's hitting for 3. So we do fully block it. I'm allowed to re-ready. And we took no damage. And then encounter card. Rogue Vessel. Surge. When the villain phase ends, deal 1 damage to each player. Ugh, that's annoying. First player action. Exhaust Milano and spend 2 resources of any type to discard this card. Oh, it's an environment. It just stays in play. Ugh, and it has Surge, so we have to do another one. It's a Badoon Grunt. He does not look happy. After Badoon Grunt engages you, if there are no other minions engaged with you, deal yourself 1 face down encounter card. Now, we're actually in the phase at which these get revealed, but I think that means it'll be next turn, I think. That might be wrong. Apologies if it is. Alright, so that's the situation now. Also, yeah, so the villain phase is ending, so he deals 1 damage to each player. So we're taking 1 damage. I can't avoid it, so we're going to have to go down to 9. Unfortunately, I don't want to waste a defense on 1 damage. So, yeah, I'm glad I didn't play the other card. Alright, so, well, I'm not sure I can get rid of this Vessel this turn because ideally I would want to tap the Milano to use a resource, but this tells you to exhaust, use the correct terminology, and spend 2 resources of any type. So I presume if I'm exhausting via this card, I don't get the wildcard resource, so I can't. What I can do is spend the strength card to pay for Root Stomp, which is the 5 damage one, and if it defeats an enemy you get 1 growth counter. I'm going to defeat that Grunt to get rid of him, and we get 1 growth counter out of it, right there, which I could spend to hit for 5, but again I'm very aware of Drang getting stronger if I knock him down. Groot doing damage is pretty easy. I need him to up his thwart so I can get rid of this for bonus points and we're done. So all I've got in my hand is I am Groot. We'll have Groot thwart for 1, I guess. And that's my turn. Do I want to keep I am Groot in my hand? We have no growth counters. We kind of want it to get to the next phase, by the way, because if you let it get to phase 2, it gives you bonus credits if you still win. I'm not sure how much harder that makes it because I've never done this before, but that is one of the optional objectives. It gives you more credits when you're done. Do I want to keep this in hand? Let's see, if I go down and let him scheme, it's almost certainly capping this out. Because he'll be doing it for, well, he's only doing it for 1 plus a card, so it's not necessary. Yeah, I'm going to flip down. Let's flip down and end my turn there. I'm going to keep this in hand, which means we're drawing 5. We have Fighting Fit. We are Groot. Come on, where's your thwart upgrade? Deft Focus. The Power of Protection. Flora and Fauna. Ah, that's not a good hand. That is not a good hand at all. Oh well, let's see how that bites us. 1 on the main scheme. This gets 1 counter. I hope I didn't miss a counter, because it fired last turn, right? And then he schemes against us for 1+2. Give the villain a tough status card. So that was 1+1 for a total of 2, so that's 6, 7, 8. Yep, that caps out. So that caps out and becomes Protect the Planet. When revealed, resolve the charge up ability on the ship. And flip that to here. So this is the, if the players let this fill out, we lose the game. It starts with 4 on it. Good grief. If it gets to 8, we lose. So after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, it still charges up. You can exhaust a Milano to choose to either remove 3 threat from this scheme or deal 3 damage to a minion. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, that's pretty interesting. It's time for encounter cards. We have 1 already. So we're getting 2. Caught off guard. When revealed, discard an upgrade or support you control. Oh no. My 1 good upgrade. Oh well, goodbye. There it goes. Hull Breach. Pearl. While you're resolving this, other players can't help you. Choose... I'll just exhaust the Milano again to get rid of that. So we're not going to be getting rid of this rogue vessel. That's the villain turn done, so we take 1 damage, and I will just take the 1 damage. So we're down to 8 health. Our health is not going to be the issue here, I think. So looking over my cards, I do have some options. We're going to do that action to get 2 growth counters, obviously. Do I want to get full health? Yeah, I think I do, because I have a means by which to re-ready myself. So we'll recover up to 10, which is our maximum health. We would be tapped. I'm flipping up to hero form, and we're going to get rid of Deft Focus to spend on Flora and Fauna. Hero action, place 2 growth counters on Groot and ready him. The other half of that is for Rocket. We don't have Rocket, so we're up to 5 growth counters, and I ready myself. So that's the position we're in now. Then, what is my best bet here? We can remove a lot of threat, but I can also do a lot of damage to Drang. I can actually do 5 damage to him with Fighting Fit, but I would need to remove his tough status first, which is, you know. So let's, because I'd have to attack with Groot. I do want to clear this. But it's 2 threat, and my base threat is 1. Thwart rather, sorry, not threat. And the only other alternative is to spend my entire hand on I Am Groot, which would remove 5, and then it's such a waste doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna hit him. So we get rid of a tough status effect, and then I'm spending the Power of Protection, which counts for 2 if you're spending on a protection card to do Fighting Fit. Deal 2 damage to the villain, or 5 instead if you're at or greater than your starting hit points, which I am. So that hits him down to phase 2. Oh, he's got 3 attack on phase 2. Good grief. When revealed, if Drang's spear is not in play, give him 1 face down boost card. It's not in play, so there we are. After Drang schemes, so he still does the charge, and he has 14 health. So only 1 more than he had in phase 1. That's not terrible. But he's up to 2 base scheme and 3 base attack, which is slightly scary. Then I am going to get rid of I Am Groot to pay for We Are Groot. Get rid of 1 growth counter to give myself a tough status card. And that is my turn, because I think he's going to hit pretty hard with that extra boost card. So I think that's probably the best bet. So ready up. We're drawing 5 because my hand is empty. Please give me the thwart upgrade. Nope, but that can be good. Nope. We have the capability to do a lot of damage if I don't spend growth counters on staying healthy. So I need to plan this out pretty carefully then. So 1 threat on the main scheme. Got to be careful of that because it's only got to get to 8. Can't really let him ever scheme because it will definitely cap out. One charge goes on the Badoon ship, like that. He is attacking me for 3 plus 2 boost cards. Hopefully the tough eats it. So it's 3, nothing there. If this is an activation, is an attack, it gets plus 2 boost, so it was 5. Thank goodness my tough ate it. And then encounter card. It's a Badoon Warlord. He has Overkill and 4 health. Wow. Well, that's scary. And then the villain turn is ending, so we take 1 damage from the rogue vessel, and I am just going to take it, so we're down to 9 off of that. I wonder if I could just blitz him down. I'm going to have to think about it, but if we do that, we're not going to clear this for some bonus points. I think I need to do the double I am Groot play now, because I'm definitely going to have to spend growth counters to protect myself. I can't afford to flip down and let him scheme. Might draw an encounter card that lets him scheme. So, tapping the Milano for a wildcard resource, getting rid of Fighting Fit for 1 I am Groot. And we've got 4 growth counters, so I'm going to get rid of that Warlord. I did consider doing them both into Drang and just really going for the full blitz, but I can't afford that. And then we're getting rid of Starhawk and Fighting Fit to pay for the other one, which is also 4 damage, and putting him down to 10 health remaining. And that is basically my turn, besides doing something with Groot directly. And I've got to try. Oh, but the main scheme though. It's at what? It's at 5, 6, 7, 8. It only needs 3 more. That is so risky when he's got a base scheme of 2. If I draw the encounter card that makes him scheme, I lose. I'm going to have to thwart for 1. Because he's going to get 1 on it at the end of the turn. So we're probably going to lose based on this, even if it's purely going to be down to the encounter card luck, I think. Because I don't think he's going to kill us before I kill him. So it is going to be that, unfortunately. But hey, let's see if it happens. So, ending turn with nothing in hand. I'm drawing 5. I know I should have tapped Groot there after I did that thwart, but my turn ended, so, everything's back up. And there's the thwart upgrade. Where were you? If I got that super early, this would have been an absolute breeze. Good card, though. Okay, there is stuff we can do, assuming the game does not end immediately. So there's 1 threat on the main scheme. This procs. So he is hitting us for 2. I'm just going to take the damage. He is attacking us. And I will I use Desperate Defense? Yeah, I guess so. I'll spend Hard to Ignore and Desperate Defense for +2 attack, and we ready ourselves if I take no damage. So I've got 5 defense, and he is hitting for 6. Oh, there was a spear. I'll spend 1 growth counter to make sure I take no damage, so I get to re-ready, because I think that was probably going to be important. And after that, it's encounter card. Hope I'm remembering everything. The villain schemes! Alright, I think we're about to lose. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Yep, we lose. That was precisely enough that we lose right there, unfortunately. I'm still going to play on, because I want to see if I would beat him very quickly. So we'll just pretend that there's 1 less on there, but that was a loss right there. And then we take 1 more damage from this, so we're down to 6. Literally, if that had been drawn 1 turn later, would have been perfectly fine. That was the 1 second, the 1 moment in the game where drawing the villain schemes card ruins it. Because we're going to tap the Milano, we equip that Entangling Vines, that means I now have the ability to have 3 thwart. We do this for 2 more growth counters, so we're up to 5. And I leave myself with Genius in hand. And we would absolutely spend a growth counter. So we have thwart of 3, start clearing that off. And that would be my turn, except, oh, we have to do something with Groot, right, I forgot. Oh no, he would tap from doing that thwart, never mind. So he is done, and we're still going to play on, as I say, because I don't want to have to do this again, basically. If it goes over again, I will consider it a loss, but we'll still just move on. Lashing Vines, Fertile Ground, Desperate Defense. 1 threat on the main scheme. 1 charge counter on there. He is attacking us. I'll spend on Desperate Defense again, I think. Yeah, I'll spend on Desperate Defense again, so we're going to have Defense of 5. He's hitting for 3, he's hitting for 3, so we fully block it, ready ourselves again, and then encounter card. He schemes again. Oh, okay, I see how it is. He actually only schemes for 2, so that wouldn't hit the cap. But the Headhunter, this is the special card that came in. Oops, that was on 4. he comes into play, and he is a tough one. So that was, how much did I just say he got? Just 2, because yeah, that has no tokens. So that puts it 1 away from capping out. Great. I did forget to mention at the top of this, but I was warned by a friend of mine that this is the least balanced of all the scenarios. That's based on his opinion. Obviously I haven't played it all yet, but I was warned. I should have untapped the Milano, I forgot. So, oh, I also took 1 more damage from the ship, indirect damage. So we're down to 5. I'm tapping that and using the Genius card to pay for I Am Groot, to remove threat equal to how many growth counters I have. So that's 4 off of there at the very least. But I think we're now in a lose condition anyway, because I've kind of lost momentum, unfortunately. I will spend a growth counter to get 3 thwart, because I want to get rid of 2 on this to clear it, which means when defeated I draw a card. Hard to ignore. Sure, but that goes in the victory pile. It's probably not going to matter. I'm actually going to use Hard to Ignore to pay for Lashing Vines upgrade. After Groot uses a basic power, remove 2 growth counters to exhaust this and ready him. It's not going to be relevant, really. But why not? And then that is my turn. We're drawing 5. I don't think there's 5 left. Nope, there's 3. Which is where a lot of the energy cards were sitting, unfortunately. So we also get a face down and counter card for milling ourselves. And we're drawing 2 more. There we are. So 2 more. Defense, Desperate Defense, and Strength card. Yeah, we have a handful of energy with nothing to play with them. 1 threat on the main scheme, 1 zapper on here. And let's see, am I forgetting something? Don't think so. Nope. So he's attacking us for 3. I'll use Impenetrable Defense and use the Power of Protection to pay for it and block him. So we've got a defense of 5. That's probably not going to be enough, but 3. Oh, it is. That's exactly 5. So we fully block, so I get to re-ready. Headhunter is hitting us for 1. I'm just going to take that, and I'll just do the 1 from the ship right now as well. So we're down to 3 health remaining. And then 2 encounter cards. This one first. Cannonade. Hinder 3, so it's got 4 threat on it total. Exhaust Milano to remove 3 threat from this scheme. Oh, and it gives the enemy an extra boost card. That's the negative on it. So it's starting with a total of 4. And the other one is a Badoon Sentry. Retaliate 1 with 5 health. Grief. That's pretty nasty right there. Okay. Well, let's exhaust the Milano and spend 2 energy to get rid of Rogue Vessel, just because. And then I'll overpay for Vine Shield just to get Vine Shield out, which is another upgrade. We can tap it and spend 1 growth counter to get +3 defense for an attack. And let's see, I can hit for... No, I lost my attack upgrade. I can still only hit for 2. That's great. That's not good at all. I guess I will spend a growth counter to get 3 thwart and take it off of the cannonade. But as I say, I think this is now falling away from us. I'm going to have to flip down and end my turn there with 2. That was. And then we're drawing 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Vine Spikes. Oh, we've got the attack upgrade back. We are Groot. I am Groot. Fighting Fit. And 1 Dauntless, which is we're nowhere near max health anymore, so that's not going to do anything. 1 on there. This procs up to 3. He schemes for 2. Oh, he only schemes for 2 actually. So it's still 1 away. That procs this though, so we take 2 damage and leaves us on 1. And then he schemes for 1. He schemes for 1 and it maxes out again. Yeah, okay, so we lost like 3 different ways there. Just out of curiosity, what was the encounter card? Blindside. Choose to either exhaust Milano, spend 2 resources, or stun. Well, we would have exhausted the Milano, I guess, to cover that one as a treachery card. But yeah, we've lost way too many ways now for me to carry on, unfortunately. We're still just going to move on because I don't particularly like this scenario. It didn't seem particularly fair. But we'll go by the scenario rules for what we achieved and what we didn't for credits. So based on the not victory that we get 1 unit just for doing it, which we didn't, but we're still pretending we did. And then we recorded a number of units for each player equal to the victory values of encounter cards in the victory display. We had 1, so that's 2 units. There is minions in place, we don't get that. If the main scheme is on stage 1B, it's on 2B. Which I guess... was the other side called Terrestrial Invasion? It's called Protect the Planet. I don't know what it's talking about, but did I use the wrong main scheme? No, Terrestrial... Oh, that was... yes, you had to keep it in the first step, not the second step. Right, so never mind, we didn't do that one either. And the Badoon Headhunter lived, so we don't get a point for that either. So I earned 2 credits. And then after that, you go to the Collector. And that is the next villain in Scenario 2. Well, it wouldn't be a scenario playthrough series without asterisks, as the Rise of the Red Skull taught us. I'll come back and legitimately beat Drang at some point, but for now we're just going to move on. Hope you enjoyed, thank you for watching. I'm still going to stick with Groot as well, even though his thwarting is basically garbage unless you get that one particular upgrade, and we just unfortunately got it a bit too late to make a difference. Either way, see you next time for the Collector. Until then, ta for now.